So let's start with problem A. In problem A, we've got, let's see, f with our little circle, g, and another set of parentheses with an x in it. So what we'll do is we'll start off by switching the notation. We don't like the circle notation, so let's switch it to parentheses. So I just drop the parentheses at the circle and at the end. And what that does is it just rewrites it as instead f of g of x with parentheses instead. It still means the same thing. But the reason why I like writing it this way is it tells me kind of a good place of where to start. Where do you always start in a math class? Inside your parentheses. That's your highest part of your order of operations. Well, the first set of parentheses are just an x, so there's nothing you can do with that. But the second set of parentheses have a g of x. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that g of x and we're just going to swap it out for what it is. So I'm just going to leave everything else alone. I'll leave the f, and I'll swap that g of x for what it stands for, which if I go back up to the top, it's 9 minus x over 2. Perfect. Now the question is, what am I going to do with this? What does this mean? Remember, now that the g is gone and we've just got the f, what does it mean where you've got this f thing out in front? It means to take whatever's on the inside and plug it in to your function f wherever there's an x. So I'm going to go to my f function, and where my x is, I'm going to replace it with what's inside, which in this one is this 9 minus x over 2. Remember, when I plug anything in, I should be plugging it in with parentheses around it. So I'm going to start with my function f, which is 9 minus 2x. Then that x is going to get replaced with what was inside, which is a 9 minus x over 2. Remember, I plugged something in. So these parentheses should be a reminder that when you plug something in, you have to leave the parentheses around it. Okay, now this becomes just an order of operations problem. So what do I want to do first? Well, order of operations is going to tell me that I'm doing my multiplication first, which is I'm multiplying by a 2 and dividing by a 2. Those two are opposite, so they'll cancel out. However, I am not done. I still have my 9. I still have the minus sign after it, and inside my parentheses, I still have a 9 minus x. I cannot drop the parentheses yet because I still had a minus sign out in front of them, which means I need to distribute that minus sign to everything on the inside first. So I've got my 9 that was out in front first, but now I've got a negative 9, and then the negative times the x will give me a positive x. Now let's see what happens. Notice, as I continue along, we've got a positive 9 and a negative 9 that will cancel out, leaving me with just an x. And that's my final answer for this one. However, I still need to find this function's domain. So we'd go through our little checklist. And I would ask first, do I have any even roots? And the answer to this is absolutely not. I'm looking at my final answer here, a x, so I don't have any even roots. My second question would be, do I have any fractions? And do I have any fractions? Absolutely not. So I'm not worried about that either. So remember, if I don't have any issues, which I don't, numbers 1 and number 2, they don't even pop up as an issue. That means my domain is negative infinity to infinity, meaning I can plug in anything I want. And that's it for problem A. In problem B, we're using the same exact functions, but this time I'm looking at the reverse. I've got the g coming first, so I've got g with my little circle f and then my x. So I'm going to, just like the last one, rewrite it and get rid of the circle and swap out a set of parentheses. So now it'll look a little bit nicer. So now I'm looking at g parentheses f of x. Just like before, however, I'm going to start with the inside function. This time, though, the inside function is the f of x. So So I can still do what I did before, which is swap that out. So my f of x is a 9 minus 2x. And so the question is, what does that mean? So I'm going to take this 9 minus 2x and plug it in wherever there's an x into my g function. So where's my x in my g function? It's up on top. So I'm going to replace that with what's inside. So let's start by writing our g function out. It is 9 minus x over 2. And remember, I'm replacing the x with this 9 minus 2x. And when I plug in anything, these parentheses are supposed to be my reminder that I need to put parentheses around it. Now I just need to be careful that I'm following my order of operations, which, well, my order of operations are going to tell me I need to get rid of those parentheses first by distributing that minus sign. So I'll leave my 9 and my 2. I will distribute my minus sign to everything on the inside, which will give me a negative 9 plus 2x. Continuing along, what will happen here, and what I'm seeing is, now I've got a positive 9 and a negative 9 up on top. Those will cancel out because they're opposites. But hey, that leaves me with a 2x over 2. Well, keep on going. Those x's will cancel out, those 2's will cancel out because I've got one on top and one on the bottom, which gives me the answer of an x again. Now I've still got to do what we did before, which is find this function's domain. So I'd have to ask myself same questions. 1, do I have any even roots? Well, I just ended up with an x, so the answer is absolutely not. And my second question, do I have any fractions? And again, I ended up with just an x, so the answer is no. So my domain is going to be negative infinity to positive infinity again, which means I can plug in anything I want. And problem